I know you don't.
Go to G Sales.
I know this, but I'm gonna get you
Some video games.
'cause it's
Saturday? Y'all for the summer?
and you ain't got shit to do.
YouTube! What's going on? What's the word? Welcome to another episode of Retro Rewind. For those of you who are new, this is, my way of relating to you, my pickups, and the stories behind those pickups. I mean, honestly, what could be better than Hendrix? The Band of Gypsies, Battletoads and Double Dragon, and video game pickups. I'm gonna hop right into it. All of these are from garage sales. So, we're gonna go right into it. The first sale I went to, this is probably about a couple of weeks ago. So the first sale I went to had some Genesis games. Now, it was separated, a couple of different pieces of the sale were kind of all over the property. But the first table I noticed immediately, obviously, the familiar Genesis box. It was a woman running the sale. Joe Montana Sports Talk Football #2. I had this game growing up. Montana, back to pass. Better hurry. Puts it up. Interception. And it was always like, 30 seconds late. It was a good attempt, man. I mean, it was a good attempt by Sega. It was pretty, it was pretty revolutionary for its time. Bubsy 2, never played this game. Looks kind of cool, actually. Side-scrolling type game. Does not have the book, but whatever. It's cool. The Genesis 6-pack. To this day, I often wonder if the 6 games that are on here are compressed and that they have to take out some of the music or whatever. But it's got Sonic, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Super Hang-On. That's the Sega 6-pack. Pretty cool. Came out probably late in the Genesis cycle. And I think this is like my 5th copy of this game. But Tiny Toons, Buster's Hidden Treasure. So the woman comes up, and I'm like, hey, do you have any more of these? She said, no. I'm like, well, how much do you want for them? She's like, 50 cents for the whole thing. So, pretty cool, You can't go wrong with 50 cents for Genesis titles. Doesn't matter what it is, even sports games. Alright, so literally, right around the corner, there was another sale, and, rarely do you hit 2 sales in a row that have video game related stuff. And this guy had an N64 with 2 controllers. I got one of them over here. And a random, for the PlayStation, Game Shark. And he was asking $5 for it. And I gave him $5 for the N64. He also had a GameCube there, which I didn't bite on. He wanted $10 for that. But I was like, yo, you got any games for this? And he's like, yeah, you know what, I have tons of games, I don't know where they are. He wrote my name and my number down, and I haven't heard from him. And that's the thing when it comes to yard sales, man. If they don't have it out at that time, and you ask and they have it inside, and they bring it out to you, that's cool. But whenever they say, oh, give me your number, I'll hit you up when I find them, 95% of the time they don't contact you. I have maybe one person contact me about video games after a garage sale. So it's all about the luck. Really, luck of the draw, man. Alright, so yeah, next sale I went to was along my normal route. And it was a old Italian couple. So they still had the dialect, and they still had the accent going. So I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "Hello." I can't do a really good Italian accent, but they had a box full of PlayStation 2 games, and it said 2 for $7 on it. And as I was looking through them, she was like, "You know what? Just give me $1 a game." Awesome. So I picked out a few games. Marvel Ultimate Alliance Special Edition. Limited Edition Spider-Man. It's pretty cool. Special Edition Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man Friend or Foe. And Star Wars 2 Battlefront. I mean, Spider-Man heaven, man. That's what he had there. I mean, I don't know. But she comes walking over to me after I paid for the games. So there's $5 for that. She's like, "Do you want t-shirts? I got t-shirts. I don't know if they'll fit you, but I got t-shirts, huh? I got t-shirts." She comes showing me like t-shirts. Like, no, I'm good on that, thanks. Yeah, so I roll, my normal route kind of goes through the, it's at least, I use Craigslist as like a backdrop, and then if I see signs as I'm going through, the Craigslist ads, I usually, make a stop. And this is one of those occasions, I roll up, she's got, it's a woman running the sale once again, and she's got Xbox games, an Xbox, and a Game Boy Advance. I already got an Xbox, I don't have a power cord for it, so I don't know if it works, and the games were kind of shitty. So I wasn't too interested in the Xbox, plus she wanted $20 for everything. But I did take a look at the Game Boy stuff, and she had 2 Game Boy Advances, alright, and a whole bunch of Game Boy Advance games, and she wanted 20 for this as well, but I offered her 10 and she took it. So I don't know what, Daffy Duck, some Game Boy game, I don't know. Tetris, the classic. Bugs Bunny. Pokemon Ruby for the Advance. Miss Pac-Man. Bidhead, you got this one? Donkey Kong. This game is probably shithouse. Star Trek. And Monsters Inc. But for $10 for 2 Game Boy Advance systems and a whole bunch of games, pretty good. It gives me a lot of game. If any of you guys are interested in the extra Game Boy Advance, hit me up. We'll make a trade or whatever. Alright. So I went on to about probably 15 or more sales. And it was getting late. And prior to me actually checking my iPhone for more sales a little further away, I stopped by one sale and he had some computer stuff. And I thought this was kind of cool. It's brand new. The Fallout Trilogy. It has Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and Fallout Tactics on it. Never seen this before. 3 smash hits in one. This was $2. Look at this craziness. Diablo 2 soundtrack. I'm definitely going to be playing this in a future episode. and Quest for Glory 5, Dragonfire. Disc is pretty beat up. I paid $4 for all of that. I played Quest for Glory, I remember originally for the PC when it first came out. That and King's Quest and Space Quest and Leisure Suit Larry. I don't know if you guys, I mean, I had one of those 286 PCs from IBM. And I remember playing CGA graphics, EGA graphic games like Space Quest, you know, all that stuff, man. Leisure Suit Larry was awesome. Awesome. For you guys who didn't play any PC games, you should really look to see if you can get some emulators and play some of those older games with not the point and click games where you actually have to walk around with the arrow controls and type in commands to make, you know, whoever Roger Wilco or Leisure Suit Larry to do something cool. Very cool games, man. Tough games, very cool though. All right, so at that point, you know, I was a little disappointed in terms of, you know, finding things that that I'm really interested in. You know, I don't know. When you're out on garage sales, it's like it's almost like you need to feed the animal. You know, you gotta really make that breakthrough find, otherwise you're not going to be satisfied. And I have an iPhone. I looked up Craigslist. Specifically looked for video games, and I found that there were 2 sales, not too far, maybe 15-20 minutes from me. Decided to make a drive. Drove to this one dude's house, and this guy was the complete biggest NerdMaster I think I've ever seen at a garage sale. He had his games on a plasterboard, tacked to a plasterboard. So right off the bat, I knew he was going to want top dollar for any of the games that he had there. But he literally had empty, you know, boxes of games tacked to plasterboard. And I roll up, and it's really just like 5 or 6 little kids running around the place. And then the NerdMaster comes out, and he, you can tell that he's not exactly, you know, socially aware. It's the best way I could put it, man. Just in case he watches this channel one day. It's not exactly, you know, I don't know. Anyway, he's got tons of video game shit, from brand new ColecoVisions to, you know, a Lynx to a Nomad to, you know, anything. But he wanted top dollar, so he wanted like $40 for the Nomad. He wanted $50 for the Lynx. He wanted $50 for the Coleco. He wanted, you know, no games, and he had tons of ColecoVision games, and he had N64 games in the box. He's like, pick out which box you want, and you can have the game. So he had Ocarina of Time in a box for $20. So he kept bringing stuff out, and I ended up picking 4 games. And I paid him $11 for it, which is a lot more than I usually pay at garage sales. But, you know, he originally wanted 20, and I'm like, I'll give you 11. I don't know why I came up with $11. Hold on one second. All right, so you got Mr. Do for ColecoVision. I mean, it looks cool, it looks brand new. I remember this game growing up. Very cool game. Nightmare Creatures 2 for the Sega Dreamcast, which I had the original for the PlayStation, and I love that game. So I don't know, I've never played that one. You got The Lost Vikings for the Sega Genesis. And Sonic R for the Sega Saturn. Now this guy had a Saturn in one of those carrying cases. I've never seen that before. He also had, man, he had Virtual Cop with the gun in the box. You know, but some of the stuff was beat up. So I have a feeling he had seconds and thirds of each of the stuff, because he kept talking about how much he had so much stuff inside. But this guy was the ultimate NerdMaster. Alright, so I leave that and I find another garage sale that's selling, well, specifically advertised that it had video games at it. I roll up to that and it's a dude in a bandana. I start yapping with him. I'm like, hey man, you got any video games? He's like, dude, I got a whole bunch in the back. He walks me to the table. Right off the bat, I notice the table has a giant oak tag piece of paper on it saying each game is $5. So I'm a little upset by that, but the first thing I notice that catches my eye are two games, and they're long box, PS1 games, Resident Evil and Jumping Flash. So, I snagged those two right away, and he had like a shoebox of PS1 games that were in pristine. He also had PS2 games that were in like pristine shape. He also had a 32X with a couple of games for $20, but I already have one of those. So I pick up those two, and he had Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil Nemesis, a whole bunch of games. But I pick out three. Blasto, Street Fighter Alpha 3. These games are like brand new. He really took care of his games. And Colony Wars. He had other games there that were very, very cool. But I was running low on money. And so, he looks at what I put up there and he's like, yo, give me 15 for all that. Because I was talking to him about like old video games and stuff. And it was at that point where they were doing construction across the street, and there was this giant dump truck rolling down the road, and it looked like he was struggling to get past my car. And, fucking touch my car and I'll beat your ass. And so I ran out, with the games. I moved my car, and I decide, you know what, I'm gonna go back. So I go back, and I'm like, hey, I saw that you had some guides. Let me take a look at your guides. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So he was selling these for $1 a piece. So I picked these up. Dino Crisis and Resident Evil 2. But I couldn't pass up on the games that he had there. Now, there was a reason why I passed on some of the games that he had, because he had separate price tags on them. And I guess the reason for that was, as he told me, is that he had some woman there scanning all of his games with an iPhone, wondering what the prices were. And yet she didn't jump on them. So it was very weird to me. But he had separate price tags on some of these games. But I ended up just kind of ripping the tags off. And it was actually just one of those sticky tags. So, yeah, I scoop up Kingsfield 2. Looks like a cool role-playing game. Dino Crisis 2. And the biggie. The biggie of them all. And it's almost brand new. Silent Hill. I mean, you take a look at this. I never actually played this game because I just never had it. But if you look at that disc, it's brand new. It's untouched. He had $20 on this game. I put the guides together, and I put the 3 games on top of that. And he goes, "Give me $5. Just give me $5 for all that stuff." So, I don't know, because I was yapping with him when I was going through it. I'm like, oh man, I remember this game, and I remember this game, and he was talking about the girl that was scanning his games and whatever, and I was like, that's ridiculous. Because I don't know how I would react if I was running a garage sale, and I had somebody scanning items at my sale. you know, I don't know how I'd react to that. I don't know how you guys would react to that. To be honest with you, I think that's a boundary that you don't cross, honestly. So, I don't know. Anyway, so he gave me a great deal on that. So for $5 for those 3 games, plus the 2 guides. So for $20, I was able to get Silent Hill, Dino Crisis 2, Kingsfield 2, Colony Wars, Street Fighter Alpha, and Blasto, plus 2 guides, plus Resident Evil and Jumping Flash for the PlayStation. Long box. Definitely a little more than I'd like to pay, but honestly, Silent Hill is a fucking great game from what I hear, man. I've played Silent Hill for the PS2, and I'm psyched to play. Sorry for the camera mishap, I don't know what happened, but hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I have another video in the works, probably should be out in a couple of days. Tomorrow's G-Sales. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.